Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Owen Gun mod, which is being released by user Warfighters Workshop. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the real-world historic Owen Gun, which, oh my, I've been having a whole lot of fun with this thing, as not only is it a very unique submachine gun, being a top-loading gun, very fun always seeing those from the olden days, but of course, as mentioned, this is a real-world historic weapon. It was made for the Australian military back in 38 was when it was designed, but first deployed in 1942, and was, you know, a pretty fun submachine gun for the time. Again, I always do love the, the top-fed magazines, such a relic of the bygone eras of gun design, so very neat to have that here in the game. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what all exactly we are getting, though, with the Owen Gun, which in its most basic and standard form will do 20 damage using a 10mm round with a firing rate of 118, a range of 155, accuracy of 70 for a weight of 10.1. Not too bad there at all, and as you can see, this thing is pretty good looking. I really do love the look of this gun. It's almost like a weird mashup between a greaser gun, a Tommy gun, and I love it. I love it. It's so unique, and I would love to see one of these in real life. I think that'd be very, very cool, and just all in all, very nicely made. Got a lot of good little details to it, including some stamped bits here and there. A little bit hard to see in here, but very cool indeed. Just a fun World War II gun that is, I think, a neat addition into the Commonwealth, and does have a pretty decent list of modifications to really help keep this gun usable, I'd say well into the mid-game and maybe even into a bit of the late game, considering some of the modifications that we do have on this thing. It's a pretty versatile gun. You'll find it very early on and may use it for quite a long time. And plus, always nice seeing something else using 10mm, always good there. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these lovely things, well, it's pretty darn easy. Like I said, you'll find this thing early on in the game, as in literally at the start, as you will find one of these located in the world over at Vault 111. It's in that last sort of office room where the cryolator is, just sitting there on the table waiting to be grabbed, and there you go. You got yourself an Owen Gun. Now, besides that, even before grabbing it, so if you already have a save file like mine, you can simply go to any chemistry station in the world if you don't want to go back to Vault 111, and simply head down to the weapon Owen Gun category, where you can make it for just a bit of adhesive aluminum, plastic, rubber, screws, and steel, and you will have your very own Owen Gun, which is very nice. I really do like having both of those options. So yeah, you'll be able to pretty easily get this thing from the beginning of the game, either through Vault 111 or through just a handful of pretty common materials for you to build with. And that's always nice to see. So let's have a look at the different modifications we do have for this gun. And starting, of course, with the receiver category, where everything's automatic. This is, a fun submachine gun for laying down suppressive fire, but you'll have things like the tweaked, upgraded, hardened, special, and advanced, which will pop you up to 50 damage, which for an automatic weapon, not that bad. Not that bad, and you can eke out even more damage with additional perks for this thing, as well as some of the other modifications, which is why I say you could still probably use this thing even into the later game. Now in the barrel category, we've got the standard, a Gawain, and two different Hawkinson barrels here. I think this one's my favorite just because I do like a good long barrel, and plus that really does help with the range and accuracy, which is always nice to see. Now then, in the pistol grip category, we've got a pretty nice selection. The standard, a stippled, pine tar, leather, rubber, taped, granular, fabric, grooved hatch and polymer, each one doing a variety of things like increasing accuracy or making aiming faster at the cost of handling, etc. It's not the typical just sort of straight up range and accuracy boost over here. We're getting quite a bit of different things, which is nice. I like that, a bit more than just the usual. Now then, we have the proficiency category here, which is interesting because this gun, of course, being automatic is already going to be affected by the commando perk, but you can increase that even further. Or, yeah, so even at the standard level of this gun, you can pop this thing up to 40 damage, which is, pretty darn impressive if you do have all those perks in commando. Now we then also have an ammo type category here, which is another way of upping the damage as well as changing the damage type. So we've got standard, a frangible, armor penetrating, incendiary to add that fire, cryo to, you know, add a little freezing, hollow point for just some straight up extra damage, and finally, depleted uranium for a lot of extra damage, which is great. Love it. And then we have the kit category, which just seems to add like a weird, strange perk. And we've got a number of them, like Blast Shield to, you know, slices all damage received considerably, but it doesn't actually add a Blast Shield. I don't exactly know what the kit is meant for. But we've also got things like the ICU, faster HP regeneration, nuclear-borne, fortified rad resist, and, you know, just a number of others. It seems to be basically the addition of a legendary perk almost to the gun without making it legendary, which is very intriguing. I kind of like the idea. We then do have the magazine category here, where we can actually change this thing over to 45 if you are so inclined. It's not going to change the damage on it, but of course, you know, it does give you the extra addition of, you know, just changing up ammo if you have a lot more 45. And then, of course, we can lower the magazine to a 20 round or up it to 72 with this particular one here, which I actually am now realizing I forgot to do on my modified ones. I left them as the standard magazine, I think. I will have to change that in a little bit, I think. And we then have the sight category here, where we have a number of fun little side scopes, since, of course, you know, top-loading magazine, the sights are off to the side, so we have a standard, a NIDAR, a monocular reflector, an M19 MK3 sun filter, and a slate reflector there. Not the largest of categories, but, you know, enough. And then, of course, we have the stock category here, where we've got a Ravenwood, a Gawain, a removed stock, an Orb Weaver, and a Lore folding stock. Again, each one helping change up some various things on the gun, like recoil, etc. And then finally, we have the muzzle category here, where we've got an F8 stabilizer, Marauder flash hider, Mercury silencer, number 3 rifle brake, a strife compensator, M1929 silencer, and finally, a recoil booster right there. So a lot of fun categories here to really help you up not just the damage and other stats on this thing, but to really give it a lot of fun extras, especially this kit category, which intrigues me highly. Like I said, it seems like almost adding a legendary element to it, but without making it legendary, which is kinda neat. So let me go grab my modified ones, and then we'll take a look at how this thing does shoot. And I think I'll actually quickly go in and give one of them a 72 round magazine. It's like I said, I did forget to do that earlier. We'll add it to this one. Yeah, the 72 round 10mm magazine. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then go and take some shots. First, of course, with the standard gun with a 33 round magazine there, and I do love the sight being off to the side, and it's not just the little nub, but then there's like a little wire up top of the nub, which is where you're actually going to be aiming, which does actually make it kind of hard to aim with the high iron sights on this thing, because that little wire gets very easily lost in darker backgrounds, which is a pretty typical complaint I have of most iron sights, but nonetheless, fire. And there we go. A very fun gun to shoot. pretty easy to keep on target, even with the base level gun. It does kind of kick a lot, but it's more kicking to the sides rather than up and down, so it's still actually pretty easy to keep this thing on target with your enemies, so not that bad at all. Definitely does need a little bit of compensation, but not too bad. Now, then, of course, with my incendiary one here that I made, which is just fun, and I silenced it for some reason. Love just all the details on this thing, like the bomber thing there. Very, very cool. You can make some very interesting looking guns with this, this mod, which I very much do enjoy. And, of course, fire. And there we go. That is the weapon silenced, which, not too shabby at all. Control, even though I did add some things to help with control, didn't really seem to change it up all too much, but still, at its base level, it's still not that bad to keep on target, which, you know, pretty nice. And then finally, I've got our depleted uranium one with, just all those base level damage. And again, with perks, you can up that damage even more. But man, with those depleted uranium rounds, you're getting 25 energy damage, 50 radiation, we're up to 54 physical, all with just a simple 10mm round. And in a package that now carries 72 rounds, which is just fun. So yeah, let's get that irradiated one going, and fire. Beautiful. Even though it's supposed to be a submachine gun, it basically kind of ends up becoming a light machine gun almost. Now on this one, I did work a little bit more on the recoil compared to the incendiary one that I had, and as you can see, it is a lot more controllable than the other two. Still does kick a bit to the side, but you know, with the right modifications, you can really make this into a very, very stable shooting platform. So let us take a look at this thing against an enemy, and we'll grab ourselves a Death Claw, of course, with our lovely irradiated bullets here, and die, Death Claw. He's already being melted. Yay! We went through more than half, but still not too shabby for taking out a Death Claw. But, you know, I guess since he did die quick, let's at least do it again with this one to see him also lit on fire. And run away. Only 33 rounds on this one, but still he is just melting apart thanks to all that fire. Yay, literally melting this time with the fire. And, oh, he got behind the wall before I was able to finish him off. Dang it. Come back, come back. And he's down. Magnificent. So yeah, that is the Owen Gun. This is a pretty awesome mod. I very much do like it. It's a very unique submachine gun from World War II that's not known hugely about outside of Australia, and it's very cool seeing that being added into the game with a whole lot of nifty modifications that really help this thing come alive and really make it useful, like I said, into the mid and even into the later game with the right modifications and perks. It becomes a pretty substantial weapon. So if you'd like to take a look at this mod for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed and you come back for whatever we look at next. But until then, thank you for watching as always. Have a good one.